including the boys' statements, but I also saw Brendan's large paragraph with eloquent language and many people to thank. But Matthew's wasn't put into the script yet. I envisioned Matt coming to the podium and saying, "Thanks." This really isn't Matthew's Eagle ceremony. We're giving him the I Can't Get a Word in Edgewise award tonight. Most of us know that Matthew is a man of few words, which is okay, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have good things to say. If something needs to be said, you can be sure he won't be silent. His fourth grade teacher said that even though he didn't say much, you could always see the wheels turning. He was always thinking and absorbing everything around him. Matthew is a man who knows that your actions speak far louder than your words, and that you should watch what you say and what you do. Because if you don't, others most surely will. When others in the troop were the speaker, Matthew preferred to be the second in command. When those in the troop were the big idea guys, Matthew took care of the details. For those of us who are the mouthpiece and the big idea guys, we need men like Matthew who keep us grounded, who keep cool under fire, whose leadership keep us going in the right direction and warn us when we're about to go over a cliff. When recalling Matthew's career in Scouts, I tried to come up with a few funny stories to tell, but I found myself coming up short, largely because he rarely did anything crazy or nutty or dumb. He was often the one laughing at us doing the dumb stuff, or more likely, looking at us shaking his head in bewilderment. Except this one time. When we were on our 20-mile hike, which was a struggle for all of us, Matthew finished the hike but wasn't feeling so great afterward. We were at the Dinosaur Barbecue and he was really feeling pretty rough. When what should come to his rescue? A Coca-Cola. Really though, it turns out that he hadn't eaten as many calories to keep up with the miles. We've all been there, Matthew, so no worries. I am told at this time that the FBI is one possible career path you're considering. This, along with any career that you would consider, would be well served by your attaining this award. My only piece of advice for you, Matt, is if you go on a 20-mile hike during your training at Quantico, eat and take some Coke along. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce a young man who, with the help of his family, friends, and fellow Scouts, has become a confident, effective leader worthy of this award. Matthew, if you would join me, and if the honor guard would escort his parents forward, please. Matthew, your parents have undoubtedly been your primary source of help and strength. No one will ever know the unnumbered acts of self-sacrifice from your mother. She was the one who gave you life, the one who took care of you when you were sick. At this time, I'd like your mother to pin the Eagle Medal on your uniform. Do that later.
Yes. Make sure they'll be Velcro.
Right? In recognition of your mother's devotion, please present her with this Eagle Mother's pin. Your father has been the source of much guidance and encouragement along the trail. Would you please present him with his father's pen? At this time, in return, I would like your father to present you with your Eagle certificate. Congratulations, Matthew. I think we should give it a Matthew, I assume you have a statement you'd like to make? I think this is the time where Matthew says, "My turn." My turn to speak.
Huge, massive, and long thanks to everyone that has supported me since the Prospective Eagle has been in my sights. The Scouts, of course, as many of them came and helped with my project at Genesee Country Nature Center, the Nature Center itself, too, and Melissa, who acts as the manager and the one who I interacted with the most. I've heard plenty of horror stories over the years about Scouts who pick certain places to do their project for and how they never get responses, never get funding, and some of them who never even figure out who they're supposed to be communicating with the entire time. You have no idea how huge a relief it was to work in an organization that not only cares about its workers, paid and not paid, but also understands how great of an opportunity it is to have a responsible to-be adult coming to them and offering free services. If it wasn't for their unending organization and support, I would never have been able to pull off the project I had. I'd also like to thank everyone who wrote recommendations for me and acted as my ally in this journey. Mr. McClellan and Mrs. Backus from Kalmum, Sarah and Scott from Geneseo, Wegmans, where I work, and Mr. Hatch came to my Eagle Board of Review, and Mr. Eversole too, for introducing me. That's it, no more thanks to give. I'm kidding. I don't think it even needs to be said how much an Eagle Scout's parents do to get their kid to that milestone. Honestly, if anyone in this audience truly thinks that a teenager that is not only working towards Eagle Scout, but also has graduating high school, applying for college, working 20 hours a week, or going to college, can do it all on their own, well, I appreciate your optimism. We can't, at least I don't think we can anyway, but more power to those who do. So Mom and Dad, no matter what I say or have said, I understand how much you've done and sacrificed to help me with everything, not just Eagle. And this is where I prove Mr. E wrong about not saying anything. Well, really, this is my question for tonight. What really has made me an Eagle Scout? Later this year, I will be starting at Geneseo as a psychology major, so it's an obvious question for someone like me to ask. Over the years, I found myself wondering about things like this over and over. Is a person born the way they're born, or that's just how the way they will be forever with no change? Doubtful. Is absolutely everything dictated by what a person grows up with and the people they meet and acquaint with? Probably not. In fact, it's most likely somewhere in between those two. But that's not enough an answer for me. I'd like to dig deeper and see what all of this means. So come along with me tonight on a journey led by a curious kid who'd like to learn more about not only himself, but humanity in general. Everyone over 30 or 40 is probably rolling their eyes right now thinking that this is totally the thing a kid would do before they learn to sit down, shut up, and do their job for the rest of their life. Well, forgive me, but also indulge me in this opportunity to this curiosity we all feel. The first thing you should probably know is that my life hasn't been anything hard, and I understand that. I'm not going to make up some sad backstory to make myself feel more individualistic like I see so many teenagers do as they find their place in the world. Sure, I've faced many challenges and loss like everybody else, but I look back and see how young I was and how little I really believe those events affected me. In fact, the only thing I think about from Cub Scouts is the reason I joined, which I'll get to later. I remember watching many of my friends drop out through the years, not because of difficulty or lack of effort, but because of boredom. In middle school and the years surrounding that, I can tell you truthfully, are somewhat of a blur. I thought that this was just a common thing, but the more I converse, the less confident I am in that theory. I suppose high school is usually the years that someone goes through, that confusion about who they are and who they want to be. But for me, it was middle school and my early teens. I wish I could look back and say, well, all of that confusion and pain made me a better person, but I'd be lying, as many do. Pain and confusion only serve to stoke the metaphorical fire that we all have. Pain and confusion only leads to more pain and confusion. Sorry to take that away from all the superhero origin stories. So here we are. We arrive at the present on this train of memories. Let me begin with a little warning for all the kids in this room who are either in middle school or just beginning high school. Junior and senior year will change you more than any other year. Period. No ifs or buts about it. Things will start to pile up for all those scouts in the room. You just got one last finishing weight on top of all those other things you're going to be carrying. But here's the thing. It hasn't bothered me. In fact, I think I'm the happiest I've ever been now because I don't have to worry about carrying all that on my own. People will help you. You have to want that help. You can't try and carry everything because it will tip over and you will be stuck cleaning up the mess alone. So what about Eagle Scouts? I feel like there's this feeling about Eagle Scouts that they do everything on their own, and that's what makes them an Eagle Scout. Well, as I talked about earlier, it just isn't true. Eagle Scouts need help just like everybody else. There was no merit badge called How to Survive on Your Own, literally the hardest time of your life, right? So I suppose that isn't what made me an Eagle Scout. What else? I've always done well in school, I suppose. I've been in high honor roll most years, and I do well in most AP classes. Well, as I'm sure the education system will learn, someone's ability to do well on a test does not dictate how well they actually know that subject. Seriously, let's try it. Does somebody want to ask me a question about earth science? I took that class 4 years ago, so I'll save you the time. I don't remember. Sure, it was up there some point, but trust me, that ship has sailed. I'm running low on ideas. How about popularity and charisma? I mean, yes, I have gone leaps and bounds from where I was as a little kid, hiding behind my parents' leg to avoid talking to some lady. But that doesn't mean I'm a social butterfly, right? You're probably looking at me now thinking, maybe we shouldn't have given him evil. Well, hold on for a moment. Let me tell you a few more things about myself. When most of my friends ditched Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts because they didn't want to work or they didn't like camping, did I follow them? Yes, I did say that Eagles are never completely alone in the world, but that doesn't mean they shouldn't be individualistic. And, spoiler alert, I don't really like camping that much. I know, now you really don't want to give me Eagle. But listen, I still went, and yes, I still had a good time, even though my anxiety alarm was going ring, 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 nonstop. I went because the first step to being a well-rounded person is trying things that scare you, that terrify you, and I did that. And look, I'm still here. I got through middle school alive too, somehow, and I'm reflecting on my personality now compared to then. All the turmoil and disorientation that I felt then is gone, like completely. Yes, I still complain about things and barrage them because I dislike them, because that's what teenagers do. That's what people do. But here's the thing, it is never to a person. And trust me, there are scouts that hate uncontrollably. I suppose that ties back to my interest in psychology. You have to know someone's story before you judge them, and there's always a reason that someone acts the way they do. It isn't just middle school itself that changed me, but perhaps that gap in personality shows that an Eagle Scout has to be dynamic, changing. And I have changed, and I'm proud of that change. I started working at Wegmans in the summer before junior year. Let me tell you, the rumors are true, the reputation is true. I have never met a group of people so motivated and focused and kind and helpful. I need to stop myself. It is the highest of honors to be working with them, to have gotten through the application process and accepted because they were invested in someone. The idea that I am up to their standards is a blessing. And perhaps there is a mini lesson in there. That an Eagle Scout had to be everything that someone who works for Wegmans is. The difference is an Eagle Scout isn't paid. We should take a stop at the plethora of merit badges that Eagle Scouts are required to get. I traveled all over the place to get these, from here in Caledonia to an entirely different troop up in the city and wherever else, meeting extraordinary scouts along the way. These merit badges can be things like computers, science, journalism, and law, but take a look at the required ones. Things like citizenship, personal management, personal fitness, life-saving, communication. See a pattern? So maybe I wasn't the absolute smartest kid in my class, but when you look at what an Eagle Scout knows, or at least has experience with compared to the average high schooler, the difference is clear. Eagle Scouts need common sense, something that extends far beyond the ability to memorize something for a short period and score high on a test. And that brings me to my final stop, the thing that I wrote about not only for my Eagle application, my college application, my scholarships, but here I am using them again. Junior year, I took the hardest course load I had ever taken before while piling on Eagle work and my job. I was losing at the balance at the beginning, trust me, but I never fell, never lost grip on all of those things. That year, I had so many reasons to give up on at least one thing. School days were long, made even longer by a job of cashiering that I just really didn't fit my personality. Scouts turned from a side project to a looming monster before Eagle crunch time. But by the end, I had a higher overall average than any other year. I was offered a new job at Wegmans with people who are amazing and work that fits me better. And of course, I got everything done for Eagle in a timely manner. I think I learned more about myself that year than ever before. One thing was my love for writing, brought out by my creative writing class I had taken. The other that I work well under pressure. That's another thing about Eagle Scouts, I suppose. They have to have a strong backbone. They have to be unyielding. Well-rounded, dynamic, kind, common sense, unyielding. Those are the things that I came up with regarding what makes an Eagle Scout, though I'm sure it changes for everybody. These are the things that I could look back and trace through my life up until now. And there would certainly be more if I had the time to talk about. Now you're probably wondering what my answer is to my own question. What really has made me an Eagle Scout? And I'm sorry because I truly don't have an answer for you. I don't know where it all went right, and more likely than not, I've just been standing up here overanalyzing my life for the past few minutes. I doubt that even after 4 years and a degree in psychology, I'll be able to come back here and tell you what exact moment determined whether or not Eagle is in my future. But I can tell you this, I wouldn't have made it here unless my life had the same direction that it did. I'd like to leave you all with a quote from my favorite band, Genesis, that I love so much that I would be remiss not to add one of their quotes in this speech. Another time it might have been so different, if only we could do it all again. But now it's just another fading memory, out of focus, though the outline still remains. Far away, away, fading distant lights. Leaving us all behind, lost in a changing world. And you know that these are the days of our lives. Remember. Thank you.